I'm in a hotel. The reason why, I'll tell you later. But I just made it in time to catch the draw of the Europa League round of 16. And as you can see, Arsenal get drawn to play against OSASUNA. And looking at the other side of the bracket, Ajax will get drawn to play against Newcastle United. Club Brugge will play against Sparta. Molde will face off against AS Roma. Braga will face off against Mainz. And our old Dutch rival Feyenoord will face off against Panathinaikos. FC Porto will face off against Bologna. And OGC Nice will face off against Chelsea. And there we have the draw of the Europa League round of 16. And looking at the match week 26 of the Premier League, we face off against Leicester City. And we need to maintain focus in this match because, as we all know, a title race with Man City means that you cannot slip up at any point in the season. And here's Karo on the ball, taking it down the right touchline. And Karo looking for challengers. No one wants to challenge him. Karo still on the ball. Getting brought down. No penalty. Watkins to Karo. Back to Watkins. And Watkins with a shot. Karo applying some defensive pressure. Forcing a throw-in. Fatawu throwing it to Frankowski. And Karo with a great tackle. And now Yang Min-hyuk passing it to Karo. Karo taking the ball and heading towards goal. Cutting in. Karo on the ball having a shot but getting blocked. And some discombobulation. And Karo now on the ball passing it into the back of the net. And Arsenal up 1-0. Nice and early, and Karo doing his boss walk. And look at the Arsenal bench. Happy to see their gunman scoring once again. And Arsenal now up 1-0 against Leicester City. Ndidi passing it to Kanhus. Saka with a great cross, but Frankowski heading it away. But Konate passing it to Karo now. Karo on the ball. And Karo with a great cross to Thomas Partey, who's unable to put the ball in the back of the net. Watkins with a great tackle, passing it to Karo. Karo is through on goal, and Denis Karo's gonna slide it into the back of the net. Holy shit, he's Fernando Torres. And this match comes to an end. Arsenal collecting a 1-0 victory against Leicester City. And with that victory, we maintain our lead at the top of the Premier League table. A 10-point lead on Man City of all teams. Our record stands at 21 wins, 4 draws, and 1 loss for a total of 67 points. And heading in to match week 27 of the Premier League, Arsenal head to Wolves. And this Wolves team is gonna play tough football, rugged football, dirty football. Last time they had a finger in Jesus' ass, and no one cared. But here's Karo passing it to Zaire Emery, and Watkins on the ball, turning with the ball and passing it to Karo, and Karo threading it through to Bukayo Saka, and Saka with a great shot.
Coming off the pitch, number 5.
Nuno passing to Zaire Emery. Karo on the ball now. Denis Karo laying it off for Yang Min-hyuk, who passes it back to Zaire Emery. Yang Min-hyuk finding Watkins. Watkins unable to find Karo. Watkins with an interception, finding Karo this time. Karo cutting in, having a shot, and just easing it in to the back of the net and doing a front flip. What the hell is he doing? We just had a sprained knee, and this man's doing front flips. And Arsenal now up 1-0 in this match. De Vries throwing it to Balerdi. And De Vries passing to Zaire Emery, who finds Karo. And now Karo taking the ball, making some space. And now he's challenging all defenders. And no one wants to smoke. And Karo is just gonna ease his way through the defense and lay it off to Saka, who puts it into the back of the net and puts this match to rest. Bukayo Saka running over to Mikel Arteta. And Arsenal have collected another 2-0 victory. And with that 2-0 victory, we collect another 3 points in the title race, where we still maintain a 10-point lead over Man City with a total of 70 points to their 60 points. And now we shift our focus to the round of 16 in the Europa League, where we face off against OSASUNA. And taking one last look at the bracket here before we kick off, our road to Manchester begins here. And if we make it to the final, we're not going to have to travel very far. And here's Karo on the ball with some skill moves on nobody. Finding Saka, who finds Watkins. Watkins finding Zaire Emery. And now here's Denis Karo, who's unable to get through. Ederson kicking it with a big kick to Yang Min Hyuk. And now Watkins finding Karo. Karo past 1. Karo past 2. Karo having a shot. And Casteels with a great save. And now, here's Ibanez getting past Karo. Catena on the ball. Catena trying to pass it, but Zaire Emery with the interception. Yang Min Hyuk finding Karo. Karo with a huge touch. And now Karo on the ball. Karo settling the ball. Beautiful football, having a shot, and off the post and into the back of the net it goes. And Denis Karo has just put Arsenal up 1-0 against Osasuna in the round of 16 in the Europa League. And Arsenal are looking in fine form. A very crucial away lead for Arsenal. And here's Osasuna now with the corner. And Arnaud's there with a huge clearance. And Crayola. And Crayola unable to test Ederson. And Ederson with a huge kick to Karo, who beautifully settles it like the Bundesliga logo. And now Karo finding Saka, who finds Karo once again. Karo looking to cut in and successfully doesn't have the shot, and into the back of the net it goes. Arsenal up 2-0. And Crayola passing it right to Saka. Saka with a great interception. And are now finding Karo. Karo looking to head towards goal once again. Just finding Watkins. Yang Min Hyuk with a beautiful pass to Karo, who just eases it into the corner. And Arsenal up 3-0 in the first half of this match. And this tie looks all set and done. And here's Karo now. Partey with a great interception. Saliba passing it. And Karo doing beautifully to keep it in. Bukayo Saka back healing it to Karo. Denis Karo on the ball. Denis Karo heading towards the middle of the field. No one touching him. No one challenging him. Karo just taking a minute. Rainbow flick. Karo with another rainbow flick. Oh my God. What are we witnessing here? A masterclass in football by Denis Karo. Playing like he's Neymar. Playing like he's Ronaldinho. A fantastic goal, and that deserves a replay right here. The first one failed, but the second one landed. And a beautiful volley to top it all off. And Denis Karo just absolutely playing with this Osasuna defense. And making this stadium his playground once again. And Saka doing brilliantly to keep it in. Karo passing it to Saka. And now Watkins laying it off. And Duranville back to Zaire Emery. Zaire Emery passing it to Karo. Karo is through on goal but unable to get a shot off. And the match comes to an end. Arsenal collecting a huge 4-0 victory in the first leg of the round of 16. And Arsenal look well on their way to the quarterfinals of the Europa League. And here you can take a look at the other results in the other matches. And if you take a look at these teams, you'll conclude that Arsenal have a great chance of winning the Europa League. And heading into match week 28, Arsenal face off against Burnley. And we have Karo on the ball now, getting us kicked off in this match. And here's Huntunji. Huntunji on the ball, cutting back, passing it to Ludice. Nuno with a great interception. Karo now looking to explode. And here's Karo passing it softly to Zaire Emery. And now Karo on the ball once again. Denis Karo cutting in. Dennis Karo still on the ball, showing muscle, having a shot, but just wide it goes. Nuno passing it to Rabiot. Karo on the ball now. Dennis Karo getting past the defense. Dennis Karo having a shot and easing it into the top bins. A beautiful shot and a beautiful goal by Denis Karo. And look at him celebrating with the Arsenal fans. Running and showing the camera that beautiful face. And blowing a kiss. And to who is he blowing a kiss, you might ask? Well, let's just say love finds a way. And Tresor passing to Correa. And Dodgson on the ball. Cutting it back, passing to Tresor. Hannibal passing to Correa, whose pass is intercepted. And Saliba's pass intercepted as well. And De Vries calming the storm. And Ederson kicking it. And Correa is there with the interception to put the ball into the back of the net. And Burnley find themselves back in this match. 1-1. And Karo now trying to make some magic happen. After that embarrassment of a defensive mistake we just made. And Correa launching the ball. And Yang Min Hyuk is there to find it. And Yang Min Hyuk on the ball now. Down the left flank. Watkins turning with the ball. Passing it to Denis Karo. Karo through on goal. Having a shot but unable to score. And how have I missed that shot? Yang Min Hyuk making a great run. Passing it to Denis Karo. Karo passing it to Yang Min Hyuk, but a miscommunication. And Meslier kicking it out. But Rabiot heading it to Karo. Karo turning with the ball. Karo still on the ball. Denis Karo. Beautiful no-look pass to Watkins, who smashes it into the back of the net. And Arsenal restored their lead in the 68th minute of the match. A beautiful no-look pass by Denis Karo. Watkins on the other end to hammer it home. And look at how much that means to the Arsenal team. And Hotunji passing to Reina. Hannibal on the ball. Correa passing it to Zerouki. And Correa with a great cross, but Balerdi's there with the clearance. And Karo passing the ball to Bukayo Saka. And Saka now has some space. And Saka's just taking his time with the ball, passing it to Karo. Karo now passing it to Watkins. Watkins heading towards goal, smashing it into the back of the net. Arsenal 3, Burnley 1. And Ollie Watkins firing on all cylinders. Denis Karo out here doing no-look passes. And Arsenal look like a team that is hitting their best form at the business end of the season. And with that victory, Arsenal collect another 3 points to maintain a 10-point lead at the top of the Premier League table. Our record stands at 23 wins, 4 draws, and 1 loss for a total of 73 points. And as we shift our attention back to the Europa League, Arsenal face off once again against Osasuna after we smashed them in the first leg. Our only objective is to maintain our 4-0 lead. And taking a look at the results across the table before we head into match 2 of the round of 16 in the Europa League. As Mbolo gets us kicked off. And Mancreola getting scared of Karo's aura, passing it to Ibanez, and Ibanez passing it right to Saka. And now Karo getting Saka's pass, doing some skill moves, crossing it in. Rabiot with a header, and Arsenal up 1-0 in the 3rd minute of this match. Arsenal with a nice and early lead, capitalizing off of a misplaced pass and making Osasuna pay for it. And Arsenal now have a 5-0 lead on aggregate. And Saka passing it to Partey. Mancreola with an interception. Mancreola passing the ball to Mbolo. Mbolo having a shot, but Ederson with a great save. De Vries passing it to Denis Karo. Denis Karo taking it down the right touchline. Cutting in. Karo with a beautiful, skillful pass to Saka. And Watkins laying it off for Yang Min Hyuk, who lays it off for Rabiot, who's unable to score. And as we get kicked off in the second half, Denis Karo now getting the ball from Ollie Watkins. Denis Karo with some skill moves. bringing it back and passing the ball to De Vries. De Vries finding Karo once again. Karo cutting in, getting past one. And Karo just taking a moment to get past another with an elastico. Karo on the ball. Karo turning, having a shot, bar down. Oh my. What has this man done to football? And Karo hitting a backflip. And what can you say? The man is an entertainer. And Arsenal now with a 2-0 lead in this match. And a 6-0 lead on aggregate. And Karo intercepting the pass. Karo turning with the ball. And bringing it back and passing to Arnau. Arnau finding Karo. Karo in acres of space. He's going to have a shot and he's going to score a cracking goal. An absolute firecracker by Denis Karo. An absolute thunder cunt. An absolute banger of a goal by Denis Karo to see Arsenal collect a 3-0 victory in the round of 16 in the Europa League against OSASUNA, making it 7-0 on aggregate. And this result will send shivers down the spine of every other Europa League team. And as you can see, our next opponent will be Club Brugge, a very tough Belgian team. And taking a look at the other teams remaining in the competition, you've got to favor our chances. And as we head into match week 29 of the Premier League, Arsenal travel to Fulham. And Watkins passing to Zaire Emery. Karo on the ball. Passing it to Carlos Augusto. And Benjamin Sesko turning with the ball. Karo trying to get the ball off Sesko but failing to do so. And now Andreas Pereira with a shot. Unable to score. Arnau passing to Partey. Zaire Emery. Beautiful pass to Yang Min Hyuk. Yang Min Hyuk finding Karo. And now Karo on the ball. Karo lobbing it to Watkins, and Watkins just wide. And Diop with a big kick. Watkins settling it. Unable to find Karo. Unai Lopez with an interception. Saka finding Karo. Karo taking a minute, doing some skill moves. Passing to Saka. Saka finding Karo once again. Karo now cutting back, and a left-footed cross by Karo. And Yang Min Hyuk is unable to score off the volley, and Watkins is unable to score. Karo settling it with his chest, passing it to Watkins. Watkins finding Zaire Emery. And Yang Min Hyuk now taking the ball, cutting back, passing it to Karo. Karo cutting in towards goal, having a shot. And Livakovic with a great save. Benjamin Sesko on the ball, having a shot but unable to make a threat. And Ederson now looking to find Karo, but he passes right to Sesko. And he punishes us for it as Sesko has just put the ball into the back of the net. And Marco Silva is one happy man. And he's happy because his team have just stolen a 1-0 victory against the league leaders Arsenal. And with that disappointing loss, we have allowed Man City the opportunity to gain some points back in the title race. And as we leave things off for this episode, we find ourselves remaining in first place on 73 points, but City do have a game in hand in the Premier League. And looking at the Europa League, we face off against Club Brugge in the quarterfinals after we smashed Osasuna 7-0 in the round of 16. And as we look forward to the next episode, we have matches against Ireland, Tottenham Hotspur, Chelsea, Club Brugge, and Brighton and Hove Albion. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. Please be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you are enjoying the series. And most importantly, have a great rest of your day. This has been Dennis from Clowning Wall Gaming, and I will see you next time.